The Morning Ride. Weekdays from 6 a.m. Voice of the people. Now you have a voice.
This is not just another radio on your dial. This is
Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja.
It's thrilling, controversial, heated, thought-provoking. Catch Rufai Oseni.
Came here to misrepresent the facts today as regards subsidy removal.
Kesire Aqua.
Report was that $9 billion is lost yearly to illegal mining.
And Simeon Sunday.
If you know something of this nature is happening within your community, why didn't you raise an alarm?
On the Front Page Review, weekdays at 7:15 a.m. Now you have a voice.
Right here in the capital city of Abuja. Welcome to your favorite dial. This is Voice of the People, 96.1 FM. It's 22 minutes gone past the hour 7 o'clock. It's time for us to get straight to the Front Page Review. But before we get digging into the headlines making the rounds across the country this morning, let's begin with who said what this morning. And of course, we saw that chiefs, military chiefs, actually met with the senators. And of course, to give an update on what is happening in Okwama community in the Ugeli South local government area. And of course, we got to hear the Chief of Defense Staff got to give us an update on what is happening in the nation and what really truly transpired in that particular community. Let's take a listen to the Chief of Defense Staff.
We work together. He's a gallant officer, so of the soldiers. He's one of the best commander in the Northeast. We work together. He's a gallant officer, so of the soldiers. He was one of the best we had. He did so well in the Northeast. We brought him to the North Central. He did well. He went to the Northwest. He did extremely well. And then went to the South. Now, what happened? Basically, it was a community clash that was happening, and those are his own area of responsibilities. And that's why he responded when initially his soldiers, his officer and some soldiers were arrested, were apprehended by the communities. We know that because of these issues of bunkering, we have a lot of pirates, militants that are still operating within the general area. And they have a lot of funding because of the illegal activities they carry out. So they all equally have a lot of arms with them. These are people they know, and that's why when he had it, he felt, these are my community, these are people I know. And he went to say, look, this what you are doing is not right. Whatever it is within the community, we can do it, invite the state government, let them come and handle it. It's a state government issue and all these things. And the community said, okay. And as they turned to go, they were rounded up, killed, not only killed. They were dismembered. Head cut off, stomach open, parts missing. And I don't know what kind of, for a human being to go to that extent to do for people that came on a peaceful means, then there's something that goes beyond that. I know him, the CEO himself, Lieutenant Colonel Ali, of recent, because we have emphasized we want the oil production of Nigeria to increase so that we'll be able to have enough foreign exchange and then things can really go down because we all know the challenges we're going. And so he insisted that all illegal activities within the general area must stop. So he directed all his troops and they were stopping all this illegal bunkering, stopping all these things, and then these are the people benefiting from it. And so when this issue came, I think it came as an opportunity for them to also do away with him. And that's exactly what happened. We know who did it. We are following up on him, and it's just a matter of time. We're sure we're going to get him. Because they took away again arms. We must get those arms back. We must get those guys so that they can be prosecuted accordingly. And that's why we have called to the citizens. We know there are communities that are keeping some of the arms for them, hiding them, sponsoring them, doing all these things. That please, this is a Nigerian issue. These guys were killed in cold blood and butchered. So all those ones that have been supporting them one way or the other, they should, because if we arrest and do an investigation, we find them, they too will be culpable.
Okay, so that was the Chief of Defense Staff, talking about General Christopher Gwabin Musa, talking about what transpired in that particular community in Delta State. Really sad development. And of course, a lot of call have been put by even monarchs asking those who are shielding those responsible for this heinous crime and heinous act to stop shielding them and let the full wrath of the law be, meted down on them. Really sad time for Nigeria, especially with this particular development. And away from that, let's move on to, still more who said what this morning right here on the show. And of course, let's move on to the statement credited to, Ahmed Lawan, Senator Ahmed Lawan, who got speaking. He talked about two situations right here, which we'll be checking out. First, he got to speak about, education in Nigeria, how Nigerian children are not being given the right education and children are there hawking across the country.
Out of school. We may be talking about that is a huge population from amongst the school-going age of our population. This is one issue that the states and the federal government of Nigeria would have to sit and deal with it decisively until we are able to have our youth properly educated, prepared for tomorrow, both for leadership and productivity. Growth and development may be eluding us.
At that same time, I know of states that had...
And also, this is Adams Oshomole speaking to the situation out of school children in the country.
I will make now. It cannot be the truth that every governor can afford to buy the same bulletproof car. We can afford the same state-of-the-art government house, but we cannot afford to pay 50% subsidy to ensure that the child of the poor go to school. The bandits of today were the beggars of yesterday. The states involved in this gross negligence of the children of the poor will be exposed and will be able to offer public apology.
That is so.
Okay, so that was Adams Oshomole saying governors of certain states, especially within certain regions, cannot even pay 50% subsidy for children within their location or community or even state to get back to school. And we also heard the Senate President, talking about Senator Godswill Akpabio, also talk about the situation. And in his own remarks, he actually said provision should be made for jail terms for mothers, parents especially, who would refuse to allow their kids go to school and send them hawking on the streets.
Our parents that allows a child of school age to roam around the streets, go into hawking or any other venture during school hours. And that way we had enforcers. We had special assistants to the governor on education monitoring, and they went around the state to search from local government to make sure that no child was left behind and no child was in a farm or was on the street or was selling newspapers during school hours. It was quite effective. And then we declared free and compulsory education in the state for all children of school ages, from primary school to senior secondary school, and opening it up to all Nigerian children who are residents in Akwa Ibom State for 8 years.
Okay, so that was the Senate President Godswill Akpabio said, in his time as the governor of Akwa Ibom State, he actually saw through that parents who refuse to allow their school children or their wards go to school and rather send them hawking on the streets were handed down 6 months jail term. And he has actually recommended that similar action should be taken at the national level. And of course, probably we'll get to see the out-of-school children number drop significantly and get to see our children well educated again. This is a great development, and it's a good one that the senators are speaking to this particular challenging issue that has bedeviled us as a nation. It's 7:30 on the dot right here. This is the front page review, and of course that was Who Said What. We go on a break, and when we come back we'll be having a conversation with El-Rufai Oseni as we'll be heading straight to the front page review. Stay with us.
talk.
Before you even announce a result, you should have the CTC waiting.
Keep talking.
If you want to tax people, you must provide them service.
Don't stop talking.
If anybody is telling that I'm a mole, that person is just being mischievous.
Hey, it's your right to talk.
We are voice of the people.
Let's talk. Today's sun is so hot though.
So what are you waiting for? Get the authentic taste of creamy cold berry ice cream. To order online from Gariki, call 090-8831-5907. Guarimpa 090-8831-5909. And Lugbe 090-8845-3416.
Enjoy authentic cold berry ice cream.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
It's thrilling, controversial, heated, thought-provoking. Catch Rufai Oseni.
Came here to misrepresent the facts today as regards subsidy removal.
Kesire Aqua.
Report was that $9 billion is lost yearly to illegal mining.
And Simeon Sunday.
If you know something of this nature is happening within your community, why didn't you raise an alarm?
On the front page review, weekdays at 7:15 a.m. Now you have a voice.
Senate that their integrity remains intact despite the allegation flying around on budget impact, especially the suspension of Ningi.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. With due respect, I don't think the Senate has integrity that is intact after the budget partner allegation. There were a lot of frivolous budgets in that budget. I'll pick out one to you.
Okay.
How can you say 50 billion for I think close to 50 schools renovation? You didn't state the parts of the country they are going to be. There are many frivolous projects in that budget. And I think it's best for the president to own up. But if he doesn't own up, it just shows that, that he speaks volumes about the budgeting process. So no matter how much they try to rope Ningi in and make Ningi look, like the bad guy and everything, Ningi stated some facts on ground that were sacrosanct and salient. And I think these are the things we should work on. It should be full level of accountability. It's not today boys have been pardoned. This one was a bad done job, so it was so easy to fish out. And let's focus on that. So whatever the president tries to spin and say it didn't happen, integrity is intact, the platitudes, they won't go anywhere.
Is this a case of the president spinning? Truthfully, a lot of Nigerians have said this Senate have been, some say rubber stamp, some say in support of whatever policy the president brings before them. So is this not a case of the president, giving support to these individuals in the Senate, saying, I know what is happening, I support you notwithstanding? Because in a way, whatever some of the policies or some of the things I put before you have actually been passed speedily.
Yeah, which is the sad one, we must have accountability. You know why we have co-equal arms of government? So that they can have checks and balances to themselves. So a case where the executive is already trying to be chummy with the legislative, then it doesn't make things right, honestly. So I'm not surprised that is happening. I just want the best for Nigeria. Like I said, always, it's not personal, it's not between me and Tinubu or anybody, but it's between me and the development of this country, which I will stand in the vanguard of my job as a journalist. That's just it.
Okay. And still talking about the policies of this administration, yesterday we talked about the president banning foreign trips for government officials for the next 3 months, which you said it should be extended beyond that this is for the optics and all of that. But now it has been reported that if this is done, we might actually save Nigeria about 5 billion naira quarterly. This is according to recent reports, analysis of the government budget and spending.
If this is done, but I don't believe the antecedents of the president. This was the same president that said he was going to cut his own foreign entourage. But then Qatar happened. So if it is done, It remains to be seen. I would like the president to surprise me on this.
Okay, you think the president cannot surprise you? Okay, let's move on.
I didn't say he can't surprise.
Okay.
No, but I didn't say he can't surprise me. If you heard me very well, I said I would like him to surprise me on this.
Okay.
I didn't say he cannot surprise me. So I don't know what you heard.
Okay, no problem. Let's talk about the Okwama killing that sparked outrage by, even international communities. And now, Delta State governor has now started warning monarchs, especially as there are reports that they are monarchs shielding those who killed the soldiers. We saw the statements credited to General Musa, the chief of defense staff, talking about certain individuals shielding these people. If this is true, that gets to beg the question: where is our humanity as a people? Rufai.
Truth has to be said. You see, let's balance the story when it comes to this incident happening with the army and people in that area. Let's not just follow the danger of a single story. In as much as I commiserate with the people that the military did kill, what about the civilians in that area? I was hearing a story about a Igboromotu community this morning in Bayelsa. That they said the military came in and killed about 80 people. That's what the president of the Youth Council, the National Congress, is saying. I mean, these are things we cannot just sweep over the carpet. So why is the military going on a killing slot? Why is the military not allowing people coming to Okwama yet? So who is speaking up for the other people that are being killed, that are running into the bushes? Can't their story too be heard? Is it only the military story we will hear? This is a democracy, for Christ's sake. Let's balance out the story. Nobody's saying it's good to kill our troops. Yes, we mourn that. We're not happy about that. But why are other people being killed? If you are looking for perpetrators of this act, can't you look for them without killing civilians? Like they were saying, bodies. I've been getting videos of bodies inundated anywhere. Then the military says some people are spreading propaganda. Why even is it the fact that the governors are not even gone in to Okwama as we speak? Why have the military just taken over an area and double off a couple of days? We are in a democracy. Let's not forget that.
But looking at this critically, as much as the voices of the community or those in the community are less amplified as opposed to the military, because even we as journalists are also aiding this as well. And for us to create a balance, there have been reports that even individuals, even key government institutions, journalists cannot even access these communities to report the side of these people. But still, does this justify the killing?
Are you kidding me? The state governor cannot even access Okwama. The military turned back the state governor from accessing Okwama. So that's what we are saying. That's why we're saying let's balance out this. And let's call for independent assessments so that we can have integrity across board.
Okay, with that being said, let's move on and talk about, El-Rufai. El-Rufai is in the news. We know that this administration, he has been quite quiet. We haven't heard so much about him. But recently, we saw a video surfacing online where he visited the headquarters of SDP. And this has raised a lot of speculation that what is El-Rufai up to? Is he gearing up and getting set for 2027? A lot of questions to be asked. But his aide has come out to say that no, the SDP chairman is his good friend. He just went to pay him a visit. Nothing serious. And also, El-Rufai met with Ribadu as well, the national security advisor. So many questions are being raised as regards his ambition going forward.
Okay. It has to be said, since the man has not made any declaration, let us leave him. The picture with Ribadu I saw was a picture of breaking a fast. It's a Muslim period. We'll go from time to time to break fast. El-Rufai is a citizen of the country. He has a right to go see anybody he wants to see. So let's just stop all of this thing we are whipping up. If he declares, then we can take up the matter and analyze them.
Okay, so we should quell all the speculations, flying around. We shouldn't even raise our eyebrow as regards his movement in the past couple of days.
I don't think we should. I don't think we should make bellwether out of it.
Okay. Finally, before we let you go, let's talk about, former governor of Benue State, Gabriel Suswam. We've seen that the EFCC has rearranged him. And, there were reports that he allegedly, got involved in a 3 billion naira pursuing ex-governors. Will we see the end of this case, or will we see, some of these ex-governors getting injunctions stopping the EFCC from investigating them? We've seen that play out in the past couple of months. So it might not be surprising for us.
Hopefully. Let's see how this pans out. Time will tell. Let's see how it pans out.
Okay, thank you so much, Rufai, for joining us today. We just need to let you go. You're very busy.
Let's see. Thank you.
Okay, have a great morning.
Bye.
Okay, that was our conversation with Rufai Seni, talking about some of the headlines we have this morning right here on the show. Okay, we quickly go take a breather. When we come back, we'll be having our conversation with Larry Ogwego, as he will be lending his voice to some more headlines that we have for you right here. It's a fully packed morning, Friday morning, right here on Front Page Review. And remember, we are live on socials. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube page and also join the conversation on YouTube at Voice of the People Abuja. Voice of the People Abuja on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and drop your comment as well. And remember, you can also call us up or drop a message on WhatsApp. The call and WhatsApp number is 0700 010 961 961. 0700 010 961 961. Yes, the number is 12. It's correct. Just go ahead, send us a message or call us up and react to any of the headlines you find interesting this morning. Let's take a breather and we're back in a bit.
Talk.
Before you even announce a result, you should have the CTC waiting.
Keep talking.
If you want to tax people, you must provide them service.
Don't stop talking.
If anybody is telling you that I'm a mole, that person is just being mischievous.
Hey, it's your right to talk.
We are Voice of the People.
Let's talk.
Are you traveling to Lagos and desire a perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42 Murtala Mohammed International Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in our beautiful appointed rooms, featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Now, whether you are traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your every need is met. We also offer complimentary pickup and drop from the Lagos airport.
Why not take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant?
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So why wait? Book your stay today and experience the ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Believe me. I'm coming in hot. Now, you can enjoy the original taste of premium American Romeo's Pizza. Juicy, just the way you like it. To order online from Guarimpa, call 090-8831-5908. Gariki 090-8831-5906. And Lupe 090-9238-9861. Romeo's Pizza, the pizza champions.
Coming in hot.
You don't go markets today. Let me tell you
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BOP TV, show up, speak up.
However, the Northern Senators Forum has expressed worry over the spate of kidnappings this month. Tourists attacked the Katsina community on Tuesday night into the early hours of Wednesday. They also raised houses in their trail, and sources familiar with this incident said the tourists attacked the community few days after security operatives had raided their hideout in a forest reserve area. It was learned that the terrorists suspected that some of the community members had invited the security operatives to dislodge them from the area, and that the operation led to the killing of their members. So this is what has been reported in a community in Katsina State. You get to wonder, what is happening, especially when it comes to bandits or terrorists attacking communities across the nation. We're still trying to grapple with the kidnapping of over 276 students from a school, in Kaduna. And now we are hearing bandits kidnapping and attacking, killing people in a community in Katsina State. It was just yesterday we talked about, the Eda clash in Benue State, where, tons of people were killed. So when you hear so many reports like this coming across from different parts of the country, different geopolitical region in the country, it begs to ask the question, what is the government doing as regards insecurity? What are they doing to forestall all of this so we get to see Nigerians live a life of peace and not get worried about the activities of terrorists in the country? Every region within this country is also being affected by this. The South has not left out. We saw the killing in the Delta community where soldiers were the ones even being killed by certain individuals, with the soldiers are saying they're trying to fish out. So when you put all of this together, you get to ask yourself the question, when will Nigeria be safe again? We're trying to get through to Larry Ogwegu this morning. Once we get across to him, we'll just get to hear him speak on some of the issues we'll be discussing this morning right here on the show. Hopefully, we can actually connect with him as soon as possible. And still talking about recent developments in the country, especially as regards what is happening. We'll get to talk about Delta State Assembly with Larry, where the assembly members are now ordered the governor of the state, Oborewori, to investigate the killings happening, in that particular state. And we all know that, the military have threatened fire and brimstone, saying those who are found culpable will be arrested. And we've also heard, some members and even the governor stating that monarchs and community members who are shielding those responsible for this dastard act should come up and speak up rather than shield these particular individuals. Now, the Delta State Assembly has taken it as a responsibility in addressing the governor and asking him to take a decisive action and weigh in into this particular matter and ensure that investigation is launched. Aside the investigation the military is undertaking, the state ought to undertake its own investigation into really. This is still front page review as we try as much as possible to get through to Larry Ogwego. Let's move on to more headlines making the rounds this morning, and let's talk about the drama between the Labour Party and the National Nigerian Labour Congress on the Nation newspaper this morning. And on the Nation, it says Labour Party NLC squabble deepens. Labour Party NLC squabble deepens. That is the headline of the Nation newspaper this morning. And let's talk about the header. The header also says Abure invasion of Secretariat shameful. And Waba is saying why Labour Party chairman should go. The call by the Nigeria Labour Congress for the resignation of Labour Party National Chairman Julius Abure got the backing of his former president Ayuba Waba yesterday. Waba said Abure and his team were perpetrating illegality and that the Labour Party had deviated from the founding fathers' ideology. And he dismissed the allegations of an attempt to hijack Labour Party leveled against NLC President Joe Ajaero, saying it was designed to whip up sentiment. Awaba said Abure, his tenure had expired and that a national convention cannot hold without ward and state congresses. And we've seen that the ex-NLC president also insisted that the NLC owns the Labour Party, which he said was a common global practice. And there was a protest which held on Wednesday at the Abuja Labour Party headquarters by members of the Ajaero-led NLC. The picketing, which continued at state branches yesterday, which was Thursday, was to press home the demand by the Nigerian Labour Congress that the Labour Party should put off its March 27 convention slated for Umuahia, the state capital, and for Abure to resign. But Abure described the picketing and the breakdown of the fence at the Labour Party headquarters in Abuja as a show of shame and an act of rascality and illegality. This is what Abure had to say. And also, Pato told me what a Labour Party stalwart has now urged parties to shit their sword. And he said that the party must show that it is different from other parties. And also yesterday, we saw the Edo State NLC Council accuse Abure of running the Labour Party as a personal business. Even Waba, who is the Labour Party, Abure, even said Abure must respect, what is happening within the Labour Party. So it's the drama going on right now in the Labour Party is something that has gotten the attention of Nigerians, especially knowing that Labour Party, Nigeria saw it as the third force. It was supposed to come, some say the rescuer or the messiah, just as we saw the APC claim to be the messiah during the 2015 election, which saw the entry of President Muhammadu Buhari, who was now former, into the presidential villa as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the 2023 election, Labour Party came in as a third force, and it was no surprise that its presidential candidate Peter Obi emerged, as the third man, number 3 during the election. So a lot of questions have been raised as regarding the integrity of the Labour Party, especially knowing that Labour Party has been fingered, especially the administration of Abure has been fingered with so many irregularities. Some say corruption charges, and of course it was because of the allegation that we saw some members of the Labour Party come out to officially state the details of the account of Labour Party, how much was expended during the presidential election, how much was gotten in both from local and foreign individuals who were supported the Labour Party at the time. So when you put all of this together, you get to ask yourself, has the integrity of the Labour Party not been watered down? Because it was expected and believed that the Labour Party was supposed to be, in quotes, the messiah coming to rescue Nigeria. And in all of this, you get to ask yourself, what is Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, saying as regards this? What is it doing? Is it weighing in on this particular subject? Because at the end of the day, we get to see that in one way or the other, he is also affected with what is happening in the party. Yes, Peter Obi is not the chairman of the Labour Party. He is just a flag, a flag bearer of the party and also a card carried member of the party. But you get to ask yourself, with all that is doing this, will the administration or the current administration of the Labour Party not drown the ambition of Labour, Peter Obi going forward into the country? Quickly, let's get through to Larry Ogwego currently, and hopefully we get to have the conversation going this morning right here in the studios. Okay, Larry is on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Larry Ogwego. How are you doing today? Great to have you on the show. I guess the network has not been too friendly, especially, having you. We've been trying to get across to you. Apologies for that. Hopefully we can make progress going forward. Welcome to the front page review this morning. Okay, currently we are talking about the drama rocking the Labour Party. Just on Wednesday, we saw members of the National Nigerian Labour Congress picket the headquarters of the Labour Party. And of course, we've seen the Labour Party led by Abure stating that what the NLC did at the party's headquarters was illegality. It was illegal. And of course, he has actually called that Joe Ajero be removed as the national, Nigerian Labour Congress chairman. But looking at what is playing out within the structures of the Labour Party, it was expected that they were supposed to be the third force. But with the drama and of course with the dirt being thrown around across board from the defunct, the former chairman of the party and the current chairman of the party, a lot of questions are being begged, to be answered at this point.
the people who lead political parties in Nigeria do not get into politics on the basis of ideology, on the basis of the willingness to change society. They get into politics primarily for personal gain and personal influence. Because if you look at what is happening with the Labour Party, it is not only shocking, it is very surprising. And this is a controversy too many. Sometimes I ask myself, at what point are we going to learn to resign in the interest of public good? For me, if you ask me, I would say that to avoid further controversies, we have issues of financial recklessness. We have all kinds of allegations concerning financial management with the chairman Abure. We have issues of he wants to conduct a convention without consultations. For me, it's just a scandal too many. I think we need to get to that point where we should be able to say, in the interest of the larger family, in the interest of this party that people actually loved so much that they changed the landscape of Nigerian politics by introducing a third force, a genuine third force. So we now have a three-legged case, a race in the past presidential election, not a two-horse race. I think Abure needs to have a rethink and ask himself, is he going to survive this storm? Is he better to bow out with his dignity intact, that is, if there's anything left of the dignity, or is he going to wait until he's pushed out? I don't think he should actually ignore Labour, whichever way you look at it. They founded the party literally, and it's not fair to pretend that they don't exist or not consult with them. The way the Labour Party has responded so far is not very good. I think the elders of the party also should weigh in and have a conflict management mechanism, so that these things will not erode the confidence that people have reposed in the party as the third force. A lot of people are beginning to think and say that there's actually no difference between the Labour Party and the APC and PDP. Well, I didn't have to wait for the scandals to know that, because if you look at the political landscape in Nigeria, what happens is that if you don't give me a platform to run for election, I'll go to another party. So you find out that the people don't have ideologies. They look for shops to do business. There was political parties at the shops. Then they look for which landlord that will give them space to establish their shop. That's what is happening. But I hope that the stakeholders in the party, that if there's anyone remaining as a credible stakeholder, should come together and stop this embarrassment. Personally, I think Abure should realize that the game is over. Even if he survives this storm, he doesn't have much longer to stay. And this underscores one thing that happens in our politics. Chairmen of political parties are rarely removed through the constitutional means of convention. Very often, they are removed through scandals, that's power play and scandals. If you look at the history of PDP, look at the history of APC, you'll be surprised that these guys can never really do things well. The chairman will stay for his full tenure, and then they have a normal transition. I think they should go and look at how other people practice democracy, but the party should try to stop this embarrassing one day, one trouble kind of scenario. And Abure himself should ask himself, are they going to continue like this? Maybe it's time to step aside so that the party can experience a new lease of life.
Okay, that being said, let's move on, to the statement of the president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The president made a statement yesterday that some Nigerians have been reacting to. Some National Assembly members were at the State House for the iftar to break the Ramadan fast. And of course, during that visit, we saw the president make a statement on security and the economy of the country. According to him, he said last night that security and economic challenges will end soon. That is the promise the president made to the National Assembly members. But, it is quite ironic that while the president is promising us that security will soon be a thing of the past, just, on the same headline of the same newspaper, we saw the report that terrorists killed 6, injured many people in Katsina. And according to the report, it is because of, this terrorists felt the community members called the security forces on them. So they came to actually, take them out. Really sad development. But looking at this statement side by side, what do you think about it?
The president is saying what he should say. I don't know what else we expect him to say. Is he going to announce that insecurity won't end? The man is giving people hope. When you don't have any other thing to give, you give hope so that they will be alive. They will be surviving on hope while you're looking for what to do. When the president says the insecurity will end soon, he's just giving the people hope. He didn't give a date. He said soon. Soon can be 1 year. It can be 6 months. It can be 3 months. It can be 1 month. But the truth is that it's obvious that the insecurity matter has become intractable. It appears that the bandits and kidnappers are having a field day, if you want to put it simply. They're just having a field day. And there is a gross inadequacy in our capacity to respond. Sometimes the security agents even complicate matters. There's a young lawyer that was killed, according to the police, accidentally in Kogi State after he went to pay ransom for his cousin. The family is grieving. People are just, they can't believe it in Enugu that somebody they met the previous day who was held, he drove to Kogi to pay ransom because the cousin couldn't be rescued. And then he paid the ransom. From what we were told, even the police confirmed it, he was coming out and they shot him, thinking that he was part of the gang that robbed banks in Ayemba or something. It's a cock and bull story. So we are in a situation where we are not only having to deal with bandits and terrorists. A lot of citizens do not even have confidence that the security agents will deal with them fairly. So I think Mr. President should, first of all, think of how to not only restore the confidence of the people in the security agencies. If that is not done, you can't really begin to talk about solving the security problem, because it is the people that will partner with the security agencies to defeat insecurity. If the people do not have confidence in the security agencies, they will not really be able to do much, because people will give them information, give them intelligence and all that. If you go to places like Plateau State, they will tell you, oh, we call the soldiers, they refuse to come. There's this allegation and counter allegation. So I think Mr. President should look at this thing from two perspectives, two angles. Perspective number one is there should be a deliberate effort to get the security agents to realize that they are working for the people and not against the people. Even the way they manage people along the checkpoints, along the roads and at the checkpoints tells you that there's no love lost between the average security man and the average citizen. It is when we build that bridge and people actually see the security agencies as protecting them and as working to help them stay in their community safely, that they now begin to trust the security agents and give them information. So he has to even go back to the basics. When we know that the security agents are working for us and not against us, then we begin to ask ourselves, so how do we now equip them to tackle insecurity? And we need to get to that point where the communities must be effectively involved. A situation where you expect only soldiers and policemen who are strangers to respond to attacks is not tenable. We must have homegrown creative methods of equipping people to actually take on these guys when they move. And of course, we should also be able to identify where they are. They live in known spaces in the forest. We should be able to go there and take the word to them. We are not doing that. The president is saying what he should say. I don't know why we complain about the obvious. If your children are hungry, you don't have food in the house, you won't tell them hunger will kill you. You will tell them food is on the way. You keep giving them hope until food arrives or hunger kills them, whichever one comes first. And that's what the president is doing. He will keep telling us that we are on top of the situation. The people who perpetrate this in us act will not go unpunished. They will face the full wrath of the law. The security agents are going after them. He will be saying those things while we wait for solutions. It's either we die or we survive.
In this case, we cannot die. Still talking about solutions, especially as regards security. We've seen a developing story on the headline this morning. I saw one on the Point newspaper, and there is another on the Nation newspaper this morning. As much as the president is calling for security beef up and is doing all he can, but it seems like, in a way, part of the solution preferred by Nigerians and even some governors are now being hampered or delayed by the governors themselves. The Punch this morning reports on it and says 16 governors back state police submit report to federal government, and that is on the establishment of state policing. And on the Nation newspaper, similar headline is there. It says that federal government is saying governors slowing down work on state police. And so far, we've seen that it is only 16 out of the 36 states in Nigeria. They have now submitted their reports to, the National Economic Council yesterday as regards, report on establishing state policing. So now, if the federal government have now, especially through the legislators are now saying, okay, it's about time we establish state police. And now the governors who have been asked to compile a report together are yet to submit it. Who is now to blame with the lingering security challenge of the country, Mr. Larry?
First of all, I do not accept the assumption that state police is a silver bullet that will kill insecurity. It's an assumption. I don't want us to put all our eggs in that particular basket. The problem we have is that we have this hysterical method of just holding on to something and everybody will start shouting that this is the solution. We can get to that point and realize that it's not the solution we think it is. We need state police.
If you say it's not the solution, Mr. Larry, you are one of those who also recommended.
It's not. I said it may not be the solution depending on how we manage it. If we have a regular state police that will function like the present police, they will not change anything. I work with the police. I have worked with them for decades. I'm still working with them. If we have a state police that functions like the present Nigerian police force, one day you quote me, they will not change anything significantly. That is the truth of the matter. What I'm saying is that we can't just keep shouting state police, state police. We should ask ourselves, what are we going to do to help the state police function properly, not like the present police that we have? What are we going to bring to the table? Are we going to equip them? Are we going to train them properly? How are we going to recruit them? Are we going to ask political godfather to submit names? Chairmen of local government areas to submit names? These are the fundamental Nigerian problems. It starts with even the conceptualization and recruitment. If they get those things wrong, funding wrong, equipment wrong, then there's a lot of patronage. The state police will still fail. And they will just have another waste pipe. And so we say, we have created jobs. So you have also probably created problems and hoodlums. I'm not saying we shouldn't have state police. I'm saying that we don't think things through. I've always said this when we mention state police, because the same Nigerians who will submit the names of miscreants, people who they are tired of managing in their villages, they will send them to police for recruitment. And you expect the police to work. I know a person in this country who left a job as a senior lecturer, removed almost 20 years from his age, to apply to be a police officer. And the person who was doing the screening asked him, so why do you want to be a police officer? You have a good job. You're a senior lecturer. He's going to the police basically to collect bribe. And this is a true story.
So the individual tell he's going there to collect bribe.
We should exercise caution. This idea of just saying let us do it sharp, fast, is the same knee-jerk approach. That is, we think that we have run out of ideas, so the next best idea is state police. But we're not asking ourselves, how are we going to design this state police to solve the problem? And in fact, since this conversation started at the national level and at subnational levels, we are not asking that question. We have not actually been able to sit down to say, what is the state police going to do differently? We just pander the theory, the security will now be homegrown, state will be involved, local government will be involved. We are still discussing human beings. How are you going to recruit them? How are you going to equip them? How are you going to train them? What are they going to do differently? Are they going to run away when they see bandits? Are they going to have insurance? Are they going to ensure their families will be taken care of if they die in active service? There are fundamental questions we must ask. And when we ask those questions and answer them, then we can begin to design the process. I don't think we should rush into something as sensitive as state police. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm saying that we should do it properly. So if we're saying some states have not submitted, I was going to answer your question. I wanted to lay the foundation. Then we should ask two questions. Have they not submitted because they are doing their homework? Or have they not submitted because they are apprehensive that this will not work for them? We need to find out why they're not submitting. You don't give somebody 1 month or 2 weeks to submit a position, and how he's going to do something as complex and sensitive as raising a police force for a state. It's not a simple thing. We think it's simple. But look at what's happening in Nigeria. We are so disorganized that the Police Service Commission and the Nigerian Police Force go to court over recruitment. Isn't it embarrassing? Ask yourself, why they fighting over recruitment? So is fighting over who will hire who, or which political party will contribute people to the state police, so that during elections they work for me. So the solve problems that way. So I'm thinking that we need to ask, why have they not submitted? Are they doing a thorough job, or are they thinking it won't work? When we get that answer, we should also tell those who have submitted, I hope you did your job thoroughly. This is not vigilante group. It's not neighborhood watch. It's police we are talking about. They will have ammunition. They will have firearms. They have specialized equipment. They have powers to do a lot of things. So we have to be careful, so that when we put that bullet, it will probably become the saber bullet. But if we don't get it right, they will become part of the problem.
Okay. Quickly before we get to wrap things up, two more headlines and we call it a wrap this morning. Let's talk about the statement credited to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as well. And according to the headline on This Day newspaper, it says Tinubu, those alleging malicious embellishment of budgets did not understand the arithmetic. Those alleged did not understand the arithmetic. And the detail says President Bola Tinubu late last night reacted for the first time to allegations of budget padding by Senator Abdul Ningi from Bauchi, and concluded that those alleged malicious embellishment of the 2024 financial estimate did not understand the arithmetic in there. So many things have been said about this budget padding, and this is the president reposing his trust in the 10th Senate, saying, they did not pad any budget. For those who are misconstruing the components or the provision of that particular budget, do not necessarily understand it. But still, in that same budget, Nigerians have actually, pointed out to some loopholes and some projects that are not even assigned, address and all of that. That's still making Nigerians ask questions regarding truly if that budget is not a case of something being attached to it, or a certain project being assigned with no aim of even executing it in the first place.
Well, Mr. President is still saying what we expect him to say. The leadership of the National Assembly are his boys.
Did he say the leadership of the National Assembly, they are the president's boys?
But we know that they are his boys. How come that every time there is a difficult situation, once they finish it, they rush to the villa to do what? The brief organ now. We need to current these things that are objects. How did they emerge? We know they are his boys, and we have, for the first time in recent times, the National Assembly that sometimes they practically wait to receive instructions from Mr. President. There is nothing wrong with the National Assembly cooperating with the executive. They are not supposed to be daggers drawn. They are not supposed to be fighting. But on the other hand, they are not supposed to be a rubber stamp. Approval is not supposed to be automatic. Assent is not supposed to be taken for granted. I think we need to get to that point where the legislative arm of government to have a mind of their own. Mr. President is responding, that is they're doing the quid pro quo, that these guys are giving him cover. They are doing his bidding. And then he's also helping them to manage a crisis that is actually consuming them. He's not the only person who is an accountant or the only person who understands arithmetic. There is no way you can calculate and explain to me how you are going to spend so much money on one street light. No matter the kind of calculation you do, we have a lot of scandalous issues about the budget, apart from the so-called padding. We have projects that cannot be explained. We have projects that are not rational in the first place. You are talking of sharing freezers to who? To people who don't have power. And then you are sharing so many. Why? Do you want to convert this country into a cold room? What kind of thing is this? We have more fundamental problems. So I think Mr. President is saying what he should say in this circumstance. Support your boys. And we need to begin to separate statesmanship from politics. Our leaders should understand that leadership is not necessarily about protecting your position. Sometimes, if you want to build confidence in the people, sometimes you have to accept when you are wrong and then correct the mistake. I think it makes more sense sometimes, but that's not Nigerian politics. What they do is that they will keep lying until you begin to believe the lie. That is if you are not smart. Because if somebody tells a lie long enough and maintains the position, sometimes you begin to wonder, maybe it's true. But we are not going to be deceived. It is not true. The budget is not only padded, it is manipulated. There's aspects of the budget are fraudulent. We need to establish an independent body to look at that budget, or in the alternative, we need to get ICPC to take a hard look at it, and maybe after that, EFCC should go and collect the people who put in things there that shouldn't even be there in the first place. We need to ask clear questions. If you say that you are going to buy street lights for so much money, what brand? Who sells such street lights? Are you going to install the sun all over? I don't know. So I think Mr. President is basically supporting his boys, and that is the bane of Nigerian politics. At every point in time, even after elections, rather than provide leadership, we still play politics, and that is not helping us.
Anyway, quickly before we let you go, Mr. Larry, let me hear or know your thoughts on this particular development. A lot of reactions have trailed a video of former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, visiting the SDP, chairman. And some, there are speculations, some saying, is it gearing up, questions being asked, is it gearing up for the next electioneering season? And that's 2027. So many questions being raised. What do you have to make out of that particular video?
Yeah, this is political courtship that is going on. Political courtship, You visit your proposed site, your would-be bride, and then you check how far with the relationship. The truth is that, like I said earlier, our political parties are like shops. The party stakeholders are the landlords. If they give you space in their shop, you do the political business. That's how it works in Nigeria. So when a landlord doesn't want to give you a shop, or he gives you a shop that is not on a good site, you go and look for another landlord. So maybe based on his calculation, he may not get a good shop in APC. If you also look at what happened with his ministerial appointment, the fiasco and all of that, maybe he's thinking that his time is up in terms of the influence he wields in APC. So he's looking at his options. That's what I think. He's looking at his options. He's looking for.
But we say his aide have come out to say his visit to the SDP chairman is nothing political. Rather, a day before that particular outing, the SDP chairman visited him at home. This is him just repaying a visit the next day.
So if the man visited him at home and we didn't know, he should also visit the man at home. We didn't have to know. Why should the whole party hierarchy come to reciprocate a visit at home? It means that something happened at home. There was probably a conversation. So after some courtship in hiding, people will begin to call relations and friends to know that I'm eyeing this woman, and then maybe we'll go to the altar. So I think maybe the visit at home was the preliminaries. Okay, so maybe let's talk about this. I mean, if it's about visit at home now, he should know the man's address. If he didn't know, he would have asked him the day he visited him. So he also
probably Shehu Gabam was only available on that day at the SDP headquarters. So he decided to go say hello to him. Or maybe he was driving by.
By some sheer coincidence, the leadership of the party also just appeared there to be part of the hello process.
Possibly, maybe it was the day they were having their meeting, and of course, El-Rufai decided to breeze in and breeze out.
If they were having their meeting to visit, then there's more to the visit than meets the eye.
Okay.
Yes. So the truth is that this is Nigeria. Let's watch. I mean, these are my thoughts. Let's watch and see how it pans out. He may eventually not get anything done with them. Like I said, this is about courtship. That is, they look at options. He may yet visit other parties if this doesn't work.
Okay.
But let's see how the relationship unfolds.
You have
anyway, these are all speculations at the moment. Let's see. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Larry Ogwego, for joining us this morning.
Yeah, but my pleasure. And in case you want to visit me, don't make it
I don't mind driving by to see you at your headquarters. It's Friday, so this is the last day of the week.
It's a good idea, but don't bring the media and
Thank you so much, Mr. Larry. Have yourself an amazing morning. Okay, it's 27 minutes gone past 8 o'clock. This has been a wonderful time discussing the headlines and politics right here on the Front Page Review. Of course, this is the last for the week. We'll be back on Monday, but the show continues. Sports coming through at 8:30 a.m. and right after that, I'll be back at 9 with news around Abuja and, of course, some update in the world of business. My name is